Welcome to another tutorial with Wix Pros. My name is Bradley Africano. I'm going to walk you through today how to pick a template, how to make some edits to a template with some basic maneuvers. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump on in. Now, today we're going to work in the Wix Editor. Okay, you can also use Editor X, but that's for the more advanced series. Okay, so we'll go ahead and pick the Wix Editor. Now here it's going to ask us what kind of site we're creating. Is it an online store, a portfolio, a blog, consultant, technology company? Maybe it's something else. For today's example, we use an online store. So click here, go ahead and click next. Now here's where it's going to ask you, do you want ADI or with the Wix Editor? Okay, we're going to use the Wix Editor. What ADI is, that's a automated system, so you put in some basic information. It's going to throw together a basic template for you. Okay, not what we're looking for here. We want something to be able to customize and to be able to do some more features with. So let's go ahead and just jump on in. Now here's where we've got the templates. Okay, so they're going to give you a lot of different templates that you can use. Okay, there's tons and tons in here. So today we're just going to kind of search through and find something holiday. Okay, so let's do a holiday template. Let's see what we've got here. So you just want to kind of look through here, see if anything catches your eye. Okay. For this purpose, we'll just do a Christmas store. Okay. We're right around the holiday season, so maybe let's just go ahead and do that. Now when you hover on this, you can view it, so you can kind of see a thumbnail that scrolls up and down of what's going on with the site. You can click full demo. It'll allow you to get on the site and actually click around, go to the different pages, get a little better look. We're just going to go ahead and grab this one, so I'm just going to click edit. Okay. Now when it opens like this is the editor mode. Okay, see how I hover over different things? Okay, these different elements are highlighting because these are things we can change inside of here. So this is a basic template, and we want to make some changes to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with maybe the background. Okay, this is what they call a static. Okay, a static background is just a stationary photo that doesn't do anything. I might want to have some video on here. So let's go ahead and click on it. When I click on it, see how it says change strip background? Now I can click on there. Here's our video. Now when we open the video, you can upload your own videos. Okay, just make sure it's an MP4. Don't have it over 24 megabytes. Okay, you can go to Shutterstock and buy something. This is your site files, that's where your uploads are. This is media from Wix. They've got quite a few things in here, so let's just search for snow. Okay. So when we hover over the tops of these, it's going to show us what kind of snow, different things that we have going on. So it gives me a little glimpse of what we're looking at here. This one looks good. Let's make it snow a little. It's close to Christmas. So you can click on it one time. Okay. Now over here, it'll say change background. I know it's probably getting blocked by my video. So for this purpose, we'll just go ahead and click twice, and it's going to go ahead and put it on there. Now let's go ahead and preview the video before we make any edits to the video. Okay. Way too much. Okay, so I mean the snow, I feel like it's hitting me right in the face. I mean it's just very aggressive. So we're going to want to slow down that snow there a little bit. The way you're going to do that is you're going to come back over to this element. You're going to click out here, change strip background. Now we're going to go to settings. Okay. Now you can move the photo up and down by going like this. Okay. Or you're going to keep scrolling down. Here's our play speed. So this is what the video is playing at. It's at normal speed. You can increase that, or you can take it down. So let's take it down to a quarter. We want kind of a nice, slow falling, warm feel to the site. Okay. So now when we come out here, we're going to go back to preview mode and we're going to test it again. See how it slowed that down? Now it's not so so aggressive, you know, really taking your focus away from the site. Now, one last thing we want to do to this is just, you know, something that we want to put maybe an overlay, okay? And we're going to want to change around the overlay of the video here. So I'm going to come back into settings. We can click a overlay pattern. See how it changes things? You know, one thing about Wix, guys, is just have fun with it. You don't have to, you know, you don't have to try to stay within the lines. You can have fun and drag and drop, and you can always come over here and hit the undo button if you don't like something. Okay, but let's go ahead and click onto the overlay color. Okay, now here, as you see, as I adjust this, it's actually making it change. Okay, but this is the holidays. We want to have a holiday site, so maybe I want to go with a green. I don't really want this lime green, so I'm going to click on this plus button here. Now I can go ahead, I can drag it over to the green. Okay, so I'm going to want right in this area somewhere. So I'm just going to click in here. Okay, now see, it's changing the color in this area right here. So as I drag this around, it gets darker, it gets lighter. Okay, so we'll go ahead and add that. Now the opacity here, as I adjust it here, see how it's changing that around? We just want to make it a little bit green. Here's our original. We just want to maybe put it at like a 20. Right around there. Okay. Now you can just click outside of here to get rid of it, or just exit out of the box there. So now when we come back here, let's go ahead and just preview it again, make sure everything's looking good. It's kind of drawing out some of those greens in the tree. It's kind of putting the actual the actual trunks, you know, kind of offset a little bit by putting that green in there. So that's what I was looking for. Now you can always jump in here, whether it's a vector or an image. When you hover over an element, it's going to tell you what it is. Okay, see, holiday specials is a text. This is an image. A lot of times it's going to be a vector. Okay, there's different ways that you're going to change the color, whether it's an image or a vector. The image, you're kind of limited. Okay, you can come over here to filters. You can click down through here, make it a little darker. Let's just pull this over here. Organic, kind of like organic, but you know, we just keep it as none as well. Now, buttons. Okay, you want to stay consistent with your buttons. You don't want to have, you know, a red button, a blue button, a white button, unless it's fitting the design of the site. Okay, you can change these button colors around. You can change around the text. Let's just kind of change around a button. So see, when I click on it one time, and that's the key here with anything. You click on it one time, it's going to ask you what you want to do. So maybe our call to action is shop now. Okay, so I type in shop now. Where do I want to link it to? Okay, do I want to go to all products, or do I want to go to, it's asking me here which page. I could do a web address, an anchor, top to bottom of the page, a document. So if you have a PDF that you want to link that button to, you can go ahead and link that button anywhere you'd like. Okay. So, but for here, we'll just keep it at shop all. Okay, so, but again, so we've got it shop now, and then we come into this little button here, okay, our little paintbrush. Go down to custom design is where we're going to change stuff. They do have a lot of different buttons. As you hover over the top of them, it'll show you what they do. So you can kind of play with it, or you can come in here and customize this one. Now to customize this one, we've got the fill, which is going to be the background. You can put a border on it. You can change the corners, so if you want to make it a square button or more round, you can put a shadow, or you can change around the way the text is. So let's just go ahead and change it from this bright orangish red over to a green. Okay, so it's just that simple. You can hover over these different ones, and you can see what colors it's going to change to. So let's just kind of keep it on this one here. Now, before you leave this area, important, come over to the hover. Okay, that's what it's going to look like when you hover. So when you're on the live site and you hover over the top of the button. Okay, now do we want that text to be red still, or do we want to make it maybe black or green? you come down to the text. Okay, here's that color here. So you can go with the black here, we can go with the green. The green's pretty similar to the black in this case, so we would just go ahead and keep it there. Now that's what it's going to look like when we hover over the top. Now if we want to come in here and change around, let's say the font, okay, so you want that font to be an Arial or an Open Sans. Right now it's a Proxima Nova, okay. You would just click here. Now it's going to open up whatever fonts. You can load fonts into Wix. We do have that on another tutorial, but for today let's just click on Open Sans. Okay, so it changed this font to an Open Sans, and I'm fine with that color. So or we can go in here, we can do Shop Now in black. Real simple, guys. You can come in here, you could change add a border to it. So see how, you know, we put a little 1 inch or a little 1 border on here. We can put a 2 on there. It looks a little aggressive. You can put a shadow. We just talked about that. You do need to enable it. So you can click the shadow here. You can angle the distance that it's going to come out. So if you want it coming out the sides here, if you want it coming out the bottom, the top, this is the distance. Okay. So see how it just is popping off the page just a hair. That's what we want. We don't want to get too crazy. I mean, you don't want to have buttons like this. I look at client sites on a daily basis, you know, that come to us needing help. This is the kind of buttons they have. Don't do that. It's not professional. It's just not going to represent your brand and what you're doing correctly. Okay. So feel free to play with that though. Right, so when you're done, you just go ahead and click out of here. One habit to get into, guys, is whenever you're making any edits in a program, get used to clicking the save button. Auto save is on, as you see, but there are errors that happen. There's things that go on that are out of your control. There's nothing worse, and I've made this mistake of working on a website, 2 hours into it, made a ton of edits, didn't save. Okay, it happens, you know, so always get into a habit of, you know, when you make some changes, especially 2 or 3 changes, get in there, hit that save button. Okay, now see how it just kind of pops off there. Now let's make sure with our snow here, see, now it just makes it stand out just a little bit more. That's what we're looking for here. Okay, now one thing I do want to show you, because I noticed this right as we came to the page. See how it's a lot of customers ask, how do I make this change like this, the text? Okay, so I'm going to show you real quick while we're up here. It's a great way to catch somebody's eye if you're running a sale, if you got free shipping, whatever it is that you're promoting. So you come over here, if you hover on this, you see the text. Now we hover out here, you see you got a full width slideshow. Okay, so they're using a slideshow to make this happen. When you toggle between these, that's when you see the wording. But so if I want to change free shipping, I would come to slide number 2. Okay, and then you just double click on it, or you can just highlight whatever text you're wanting to change, delete it. You know, so that's where you're going to do that at. But it's just a slideshow. You can find those over here by clicking an add button, going into galleries, and looking for slideshows. Okay. So that's kind of a fun little thing you can add. Don't put too many animations on the site. When you come to the site and it's doing all these things, I mean, it's like the 4th of July, you got fireworks going off everywhere. It's just not professional. Simple sells, you know, so that's what we want to do, is just keep it simple. Now, these, they have these as we're hovering. I see it says image, okay? This is an e-commerce store. You can do it this way. This is a more advanced way of doing it, or you can just over here you've got your different options. Okay, so if you hover over them, it's going to tell you what they do. This is your best friend here, your media gallery, but you can come over here and you can click add. You can go down through these different areas. Okay, now store is what I was getting at here. Okay, they have these as images. If you're starting out, you may not want them as images. You may want to actually come in here and grab a product widget. Okay, so you would just grab one of these. You just take it and you drag it to where you want it. Okay, so we drag that over here. Probably threw it down here out of the way, or there it is. Okay, so this is what we would want to do is put it in here and adjust it from there. It's going to make it a little bit easier for you. But say we don't want that, and just go ahead and hit delete. But just make sure that you're highlighted on it, okay? You can come over here, you can change around these photos. If you have a better photo that you want to use, just by clicking on it one time, change image. You can upload a photo here, or you can come down to media from Wix. Again, you can even use Unsplash, Shutterstock. It's whatever you want to do. Okay. So we'll kind of go down through here. So let me talk a little bit about how they have this. Okay, this is a strip. A lot of people don't, they get confused of how to build outside of these elements here. Okay, this is your standard inside of Wix, is building in these two lines, this area here. Okay, but you might want to have something built out here. Okay, you do that with a strip. Okay, so let's just go ahead and drag this down out of the way. Let's put another strip here. By highlighting here, see, it creates this little plus button. You click on there, and that's going to add a strip for you. Now you have lots of different strips that you can put in here. For doing this, custom building this, we're going to want to just use a standard strip. So when I click that one time, it puts it above this element. So that's the joy of coming in here and clicking this plus sign. You can always come over here and click this plus sign, grab a strip, and drag it where you want it. Okay, but for wanting to show this here, I mean, that's where we want it. Now this, when you click on it one time, it's still giving us these two lines. You have to stay within this border. Okay, you cannot go outside of here because it won't automatically resize on different screens. So we're going to fix that. If we come down here and click on this one time, you see we've got 1, 2, 3 columns. Okay, so we want to make 3 columns here. So we're going to come to layout. We're going to go over here and add a column. Okay, now we've got 2 columns. Now we'll come to manage columns. We're going to add another column. Okay, now you can space these different ways that you'd like to. So now that you have it hovered and you click on it one time, you come to the layout. Now see, we can drag these to wherever we want these. Okay, so you can kind of custom match what you got here. So you can adjust these, or you can just go with different proportions they already have set up here. Okay, you can do a reverse layout. So if you have photos in different areas that you want to move around, you can certainly just do that with the click of a button. Again, just play around with it. Worst case scenario, you come click the undo button. It gets rid of everything for you. See how it's moving these columns that we were adjusting? I was showing you the different areas. You just keep clicking the back button here. Okay. So now we remove that one more time. Let's click save. Great idea to always save your site right when you start building it, especially if you got a template. We don't use templates. We're a professional web design agency, so we start with a blank canvas. We build what you want. So we sit down with you, we discuss your needs, your branding. We build the site custom for you. But if you're editing a template, you're going to want to name it here. So typically this step would be done with us. So let's just name it Wix Pros. Okay. We click the little check mark, click done. Now I'm going to come up here and click save. When I do, it's going to ask me, do I want to publish the site? We don't want to publish it right now. Actually, don't publish it at all and show anybody your site until you're completely done with it. Until you feel like it's the next American Eagle website, don't even show anybody, because friends and family, they're going to tear it apart. They always do. So don't be surprised by that. So what I'm doing is I'm refreshing that now that we've saved the site. Okay. So we're going to come back down here. We're going to grab this element and I'm going to pull this back up so it looks nice. Now the reason why we're dragging it here, okay, is it moves all of the elements below that with the site. If you just grab it and you pull it here, see, these layers all come apart now. So it's not working correctly. But if you grab this, you can drag it to wherever you want. Okay. All right, so let's just kind of take a look at what we've got going on here. The Christmas Boutique. We learned how to do this here. Let's take a look at the Wix Forms. We get a lot of people that want to customize a form. We do have other tutorials. One of them specializes in customizing forms, but let's just kind of dive in. If you're just starting with a template, you're going to need to go in here and make sure that your email address is set up correctly so that when somebody hits submit, it's going to you. Okay. Typically, we would do that on the dashboard under the settings. We go into the business info, general info. We set everything up there. It'll automatically put it in here for you. But you always want to double check it. So you come into settings. You would go into settings here, email notifications, get notified from each submission. Okay. You just kind of go through here and just read all these different options that you have. Okay. The submit message, thank you for submitting. That's going to be right here. Wix is notorious, as I've said in other videos, for making it lime green. Not a fan of that. I'm going to show you how to change that here in a second. So you can add, payments, conditions, contacts, and automation. Automations are big. Okay, so when somebody submits that form, you want to send them a personalized message. Now, by default, Wix, the editor is going to automatically say, thank you for filling out a form on our site, blah, blah, blah. You might want to go in there and create your own automation, though, and send a thank you and put your logo on there. Maybe put, a coupon in there. Whatever you're wanting to do to personalize that a little bit more so it doesn't look like an automated message. But let's go in here. I told you we're going to change this lime green. So you just double click on it. You go over here to color. Let's see. Now it's changing it to whatever we want. So we're going to go ahead and match that button color right there. That's only going to come on whenever somebody hits a submit. And it'll come on. You can set it for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 5 seconds. So it's just to let them know thanks for submitting. You might want to go ahead and thanks for submitting to Wix Pros. Okay, so when you do that, now we've got it to where this message is going to pop up. Okay, so one big thing a lot of sites miss, and you got to remember, when people are coming to your website, they're walls up. You're not American Eagle. You're a small business, okay? You need to look as professional as possible. When you're working on the Wix templates, it's going to automatically give you a 2023 by whatever. Customize this, okay? First of all, let's change it. We're at the end of 2021, so we're going to want to change that to 2021. Now, when we hit 2022, you need to go back in here and do 2022. You can put, if you were established, if this website's been around since 2019, it's okay to put 2019-2021 or 2022 once we get there. Here, we want to remove the Wix.com, probably created by, and we'll say web design by Wix Pros. Now, if you want to link text, you can certainly do that anywhere. Now, when we're building a website, we're going to link this to our website. Okay, so Wix Pros here, we highlight it, we come to the link button, which is right over here. Let me pull this over here a little bit for you. This is the link button. Okay, now it's going to ask us where we want to send it to. Do we want to go to a web address, which we do? Maybe you have a document, you have a PDF that you want to show somebody when they click on something. Maybe you have a download now, button, for them to download a document. You would link it to a document by clicking here. But we're going to go ahead with a web address, and we're going to just do wixhelpnow.com. Now, when I click this here, it's going to go ahead and it automatically puts an underline under there. So now you know it's linked. So when we go to preview, and we go back down to the bottom here. See, now it opens our site. So that's how you link that. Now, if you do change any of this stuff, make sure that you are staying consistent with it. So let's go ahead and take a look at maybe changing around some buttons. See how when I hover on them, it's got that red. Maybe you want it to be a green, maybe you want it to be a blue, whatever it is for your branding. You want to just make sure that you don't have reds and all these wild colors going on. We want to stay consistent. Again, you want to stay professional looking. This is a template, but it's a professional looking website. The less work you do to it when you're starting out with web design, the better. Okay, because you've already had a professional put this together. Okay, you're putting in a lot of animations, pictures sliding in from the sides, buttons doing crazy things. It's just unprofessional, and people they run from it. So if you want your website to convert, just stay simple with it. So, but let's go in here and maybe put this font as an Arial. Okay, this is not really standing out that well. So we'll go into the design. There's our little paintbrush. This is why you want to click Save. Then come back over. We'll refresh. Now we'll come back in here. We'll click our little design. Pull this over here so you can see it. Now you can hover over the tops of these. It's going to automatically, by default, do these different ones that you can pick from. But if you want to just adjust the one you already have, you're going to see the little check mark. That's what we're on. Just come down to Custom Design. Okay. Now we're going to go to the text, because that's what we're changing, is the color. In the clicked text. Okay, so what's clicked here is what we're changing. See how it changes the color there? And again, you can always do a custom color. Now you can come in here, you can do a hex, an RGB, an HSB. If you have the code, you can click here and you can put the code in directly. Okay, if I'm building a website and a customer has branding, they have a brand guideline that I'm following, I'm going to go in here and enter the colors in so that everything matches. So you can get very specific with it. Now, again, you could put a shadow on it. You can change around different things. You can do the spacing. The hover is when you hover over the top of it. You want it to be green when you hover over the top. Let's just click that. Let's take a look at what it does now. It's not doing much because apparently it was already green. So it's following the theme of the site though. But yeah. So that's making some basic changes here. Okay, let's just kind of take a look around the site, see what else we have. Now, one thing you want to make sure you're doing is going through all of these pages and changing things. You don't want to have people going to the About Us page and you have I'm a paragraph. Okay, if you don't want the About Us page, we can remove it. It's real simple to do. You go back into the editor mode. We'll come up here. Now, it used to be done over in this area with Manage Pages. Nowadays, it's Manage Menu. So we'll go over to the About Us, which is right here, and you just hide it from the menu. See how it disappears? Now, if I want to re-add that, okay, I come over to Site Pages, or Link, or Anchor, or Submenu Title, but that's here, and I would just check mark it. Okay, you can check mark all of them. It's whatever you want on your menu. Now, again, you need to make sure the menu is nice and spaced here. You don't want to get crazy and refer to one of our other videos, our tutorials on making a responsive header. You don't want something, if you want these elements outside here, you need to learn how to make the responsive header. It's a little bit different. Now here's the products. We do have a product tutorial that walks you through. It's going to show you how to do the pricing, do sales, do ribbons, to show things are on sale, things like that. But all in all, this is how you just make some basic changes. Again, keep it very simple. You don't have to get crazy with anything. Okay. But again, my name is Bradley Africano with Wix Pros. If you need any assistance, feel free to reach out to us. We're glad to answer any of your questions. It's wixhelpnow.com. That's wixhelpnow.com. Make sure to subscribe below. Follow any of our tutorials, and we're always happy to help.